Hi! Do you want to learn how to captivate your audience right at the start of your presentation? Well, then you are at the right place. Today, I'll show you how to use a story to open a presentation. It's way easier than you think, and you can literally see your audience leaning forward to hang on to every word you say right from the start of your presentation. No other method of opening a presentation can give such a strong connection with your audience as telling a story. In this video, I'll give you a simple 4-step formula to tell your story. With a little bit of practice, you can ace your next presentation. So let's get started. But before that, I am Ramgopal from presentationprocess.com, the creator of Ramgopal's PowerPoint Mastery Program, a comprehensive and creative PowerPoint training program for professionals. Alright, what comes to your mind when you listen to the word story? Probably someone telling you, "Once upon a time," right? That's a classic way to set the time and place for a story. But then you cannot use those same words when you're presenting to a set of senior managers. So you need a much more polished way to start a presentation. So you set the time and place by saying something concrete. For example, you say, "Last week when I was in," or "Yesterday on my way to office." Can you see, this is a much more professional way to set the time and place. So that was step 1, which is to set the time and place. Then comes step 2, which is the challenge. A challenge can be something as simple as an unusual event. For example, you can say, "Yesterday on my way to office, I was stuck in a traffic jam. A lot of cars, buses, trucks, and maybe even some motorbikes were all stuck in a junction. There were no traffic police to handle the situation, so everybody was in a state of panic." Can you see? You set up the scene and you set up the challenge, which builds tension in the audience. Now your audience wants to know how this problem is going to be solved. So that brings us to step number 3, which is the resolution. In this step, you release the tension that you created in step 2, which is the challenge. In this case, you say, "Then all of a sudden, a couple of youngsters got down from their bike and walked towards the jammed area. Then they started directing the vehicles. They even created some space for the school bus, which was jamming the whole traffic. Then that created some space for the rest of the vehicles to move, and soon the traffic jam cleared. Then those two youngsters got on their bike and left the scene." So that releases the tension in your audience's mind, and you quickly take the opportunity to move to step number 4, which is moral of the story. So you say, "So leadership is not an attribute that you only find in corporate boardrooms. It is also possible to find leadership in everyday situations, in everyday people." So today in this presentation, I'll share 5 ways you can recognize leadership qualities in your team members and how you can nurture their qualities so they can be groomed for higher positions. Can you see how nicely we set the stage for our presentation? That is the power of using a story for opening your presentation. So let me recount the 4 steps for a story-based opening so you can ace your next presentation. Step 1 is to set the time and place. Step 2 is to present the challenge that builds tension in your audience's mind. Step 3 is the resolution, where you release the tension. And step 4 is the moral of the story, that is a way for you to connect the story that you just told with the presentation you're about to make. It's a fairly easy process to follow once you practice it a couple of times. In the next video, I'll share 2 other ways to open a presentation. In fact, I keep using those 2 ways pretty regularly in my presentations. So wait for that video. In the meantime, do you want to receive our 5-day free email course called 25 Creative PowerPoint Ideas? Then all you need to do is to click on the link that you see right here and sign up to our newsletter. So you get this 5-day free email course and a lot of useful tips on an ongoing basis. So click on the link right now here and join our newsletter, and I will see you inside the course.